bonus level.
Hey guys, welcome to level 4 of the bonus level podcast. It's me, Luch. We got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about some artificial intelligence. We're going to be talking a little bit about Assassin's Creed Odyssey that came out not too long ago, and then we're going to be talking about people and their emotional tattoos. It's going to be a fun ride. I'm also joined by my two amazing co-hosts. Why don't we start off with you, Jack?
Hey guys, it's me, Jack.
And you, Josh.
Oi, it's Joshua.
We're just prepared every time. You're just gonna. That's gonna be that.
I have no idea what to expect anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
But again, we got a great show for you guys today. I know each one of us have got some pretty amazing stuff to share with you guys. But anyways, how's your guys' week been so far?
You know, I personally, I don't know about Josh. I can't really complain too much. I had a 3-day weekend. Black Ops 4 came out on last Thursday night, so last Friday. You know, we talked about that last week, but yeah, I think we discussed it, right? I think, you know, but we've been playing it. We've been enjoying it. It's actually the first Call of Duty that I've enjoyed in, probably 3-4 years, maybe at least. So we're playing Blackout and getting some wins and having a good time, and we're just enjoying playing a shooter again.
It's got a few problems, but overall it's a fun game. Not so fun when you're by yourself though. It's not
fun. And I mean most games aren't fun solo, to be honest. I mean, unless you're playing like a super RPG, right? I mean, we'll get into one of them later, I guess.
Yeah. You are absolutely right.
There you go, Josh. What about you, man?
I'm having fun watching you guys play it. The stream has been fun each time. I do. I enjoy getting to watch it because especially if I'm out and about and just pulled up on my phone or whatever, it's nice to be able to watch instead of having to pay attention while I'm grocery shopping.
Yeah, for sure. Luch, didn't something happen to you last night in the game that was super tilting?
Well, I thought we weren't going to bring that up, but
we are.
Since you gladly brought it up. So I was, enjoying my time. We were having 3 great time. We agreed that it would not be a serious round. We were going to, let loose, relax, and have fun with it. So we get all of our stuff. We're going to go and take over some buildings, hold down the fort, and Jack somehow gets a vehicle inside of this tiny little warehouse building. And as I'm sitting in cover, I didn't notice what he was doing. He just goes around and then he just rams right into my ass and kills me. Well, he didn't kill me. He knocked me down. And it just surprised me. And I got super, I got
super salty about it. Which just made it really funny. And actually it's funny. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to actually overlay that clip on the video so you guys can just watch exactly what he's talking about.
There's a backpack up here if anyone needs one.
Oh, dude. What the fuck are you doing, man? Dude, I had a level 2 body armor. Come on, man. Are you serious?
Did you lose your body armor?
Well, it should be like, I don't take it that seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
2 seconds later.
Okay, well, first of all, there's not taking things seriously and then getting my ass
blasted. And then if you actually want to hear the audio to that clip, the link will be in the description. You can find it.
It's nothing you need to hear. I'm not proud of it.
Super funny.
I had level 2 armor. It's not fair.
It's good. It's good times. We're having a good time with it.
Yeah. I mean, the game's got its issues, but it's like the beginning of the beginning of the time. And we were playing with some follower of ours too. Shout out to that guy. But if anybody wants to come and join us, we do have the Discord open now for community chat. Please feel free to message us on Instagram, Twitter. You can also send us a chat here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And feel free to ask for an invitation to the Discord, and we would be more than happy to invite you.
Yeah, and I have a question. Because now it's been out, a week? So you guys have got a chance to do that. What would you say is the main difference between that and pub? Like, do you feel...
What game?
Feel different?
Sorry, I'm talking about
what
PUBG.
Game? What game?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I haven't heard of it. Sounds awful.
Sounds
terrible. It was a game that I was playing for a long time before this. And so in trying to debate, do I want to drop the money to make the switch because I, already have the other downloaded on my computer, sell me on it.
Sell you on it.
Black
No.
Ops.
I mean, tell me,
your friends
what do you
play
like
it.
that's better than it? I know, but other than that, are you?
I
are you
will
finding
give
that
you.
have
I
a
will-
lot of the
I will
same kind of
literally give
issues?
you-
Are you looking
I'll
for
give you-
another elevator speech? Is that what you want?
No. There's legit issues with pub that I'm wondering if those. Do you still notice like little things that are sticking around like that? That it's just that type of game with that many people and that kind of large environment. You're going to have those kind of issues, or if Call of Duty was able to kind of work out some of that stuff.
I'll tell you mine real quick, and it's just like literally the only reason that would make anybody put down PUBG and pick this up is that there is no desync issue to where the other person seems to see you before you see them, kind of thing. The only complaint that I have ever had since it launched was that there's too much health and armor going on, and it's like
way too much.
You can feel like you're shooting into a sponge and then you die really fast. But it has all of the good stuff that PUBG has, but then it doesn't have the bad, like the desync, the lag, the frame rate stutters and the issues that we were just.
But
that stuff made it pretty unbearable.
I feel like the good thing with Blackout is that like the issues that do arise, there aren't too many, and I feel like they're pretty easy fixes. I mean, in terms of everything else, the guns seem balanced. Gameplay's fun. Mobility, anybody can be mobile. The little bit of PvE in there with the zombies.
I think it's faster paced.
I mean, the rounds last like 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely faster paced. So it like I said, it takes all of the benefits of the battle royale, the realistic part of it. It makes it puts its own Call of Duty twist on it, and then you don't have the frame rate and desync issues.
Gotcha.
PUBG
that would be all of my my
sold.
Reasons. Yeah, sold. So yeah.
But it's a good game, and I'm happy to be playing it with you guys. Thankfully, I was able to get it. We're just waiting for Josh to get it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to sell him on it, Josh. You're buying it. Okay.
Yeah. Soon.
So I heard how Jack's week's been. Since you don't have Blackout, Josh, how has your week been? Pretty awful, I'm guessing.
No, like I said, it's been fun. I've been watching you guys a lot. Been really busy running around with work, doing shoots and everything.
Strangling
trying
models.
to get everything prepared to come down and visit you guys here in a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to make as much money as I can so we can have some fun.
Party in a week and a half, bro.
Like, it's going to be so excited. All of you are invited, by the way, if you can make it.
He's kidding. You're not
you're right. I'm not the major D.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. But super excited about that for sure. So yeah, it's October though. Like we're halfway through October. It's halfway through.
Dude, the year's been going on like super fast. It's crazy. For sure. I can't wait for tax returns. I just got my tax return like a month ago, so I'm super excited to get it like next month. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Can't wait for Josh to get Blackout from that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, Josh, that sounds like a pretty boring weekend. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't sound. Why would you want to watch us? You can play with us. You can join us. He has the option.
I need viewers. Anybody out there who wants to watch my Twitch, twitch.tv.
No, I think you got up to like 4 views, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I think I was 3 of those because I had it on 2 of my computers and my phone.
Oh my God.
Don't do me like that.
You're such a team.
Don't do me like that.
But so one of the things that we should talk about today that is on the mind, I think, of everybody: artificial intelligence.
I'm so glad that you brought it up.
I know
not only is it something that's on everybody's mind because it's just like current and relevant, but it's the middle of October. It's the middle of spooky month, and if you're going to ask me what keeps me up at night, it's going to be things like this. And I just have one question for you guys.
Okay. No, it's actually Caleb's girlfriend's laughing. That keeps me up at night.
It's haunting in the Discord. No, I have one question for you guys.
Yes.
And it's, has science gone too far?
Not quite.
No, you don't think? You honestly can say to yourself that we are in a good place. Humanity's in a good place with technology to where we are not going to be obsolete.
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
All right,
because it's a very how would you put it? Like, yes, we probably should have stopped like 5,000 years ago with trying to innovate anything, because I feel like the Indians had a pretty cool little chill way of life. But right now things are pretty good. But at the same point, I would like to see what would happen if you were to bump technology and AI and everything up a little bit. Where like I want to be at that that stage where we have some like walking, talking, very hard to distinguish between human and android like robots.
I disagree with you there. So I think they should be distinguishable. All right. First of all, iRobot. Okay. Movie everybody should see.
All right. Just as a little precedent here, I want to try
Yes.
as hard as we possibly can to refrain from using movie references to either prove the point or argue against the point for the only reason of just because it happened in a movie doesn't mean it should influence what happens in real life.
Yeah, I would say the only way that we could maybe reference is sometimes that kind of stuff can help visualize.
Yeah,
because since we're talking about something that doesn't fully exist yet, going like, if it were to turn into this from this movie, I think that would be cool. You know,
whatever. I mean, like, but they're the ones who like, you know, pretty much create the genre. We would have no ideas of like what artificial intelligence would be if it wasn't for pop culture. They look at aliens, look at zombies.
But where does the pop culture? Where does that idea come from, right? Like the ideas come from people that have already came up with this is the idea of like what it would be like, right? So like it's not just like it's fake.
Like when did Terminator come out?
84.
Yeah, Skynet. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean that's like the scary form of like artificial intelligence.
One, right? Terminator and Skynet is ultimately the doomsday one. That's what everybody refers to as, you know, the computers become self-aware. And then
now one thing is, I think artificial intelligence is incredibly hard to create, and I don't think we have to worry about like, you know, androids running around with their each own like artificial intelligence. I think that'd be kind of hard to do, even if they like, you know, let's say they wiped off humans from the face of the planet and they were, you know, creating themselves. I think it would be kind of hard to make a new artificial intelligence for each one of those different robots. So I think if artificial intelligence did become a threat, it would be a larger entity that like takes over, you know, anything with a connection or something.
And this is where I'm going to say that you're I think a little optimistic when it comes to that. You know, think back, you know, when did we go to the moon supposedly?
Oh my God, we're not talking about that today.
In 1969 or when was it? Something like that. 69. Mm-hmm. We went to the moon, right? And the computer then that sent the rocket to the moon supposedly was the size of a basketball court, you know, or whatever. And now, okay, so fast forward 40, almost 50 years later, the technology 60. That we have now in the palm of our hand is so much more advanced, right? Yeah. And that's a huge stretch over 50 years. But then you take the technology back 5 years, 10 years. The technology that I have at my fingertips on my computer, on my cell phone, my smartphone, is worlds ahead of where we were 10 years ago. And it's only accelerating, right? It's only exponentially growing to where you have artificial intelligence robots passing citizenship tests. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
okay,
you can say, well, okay, that, you know, any computer can be programmed to answer questions, yada yada yada, whatever. But when you can actually hold a conversation, ask it questions, hold a conversation, it gives emotional and logical responses.
Yeah, but none of them are fully passing the Turing test yet, right?
I mean,
they're doing good, but none are like
no. Right. I mean, but that's my point, right? Is that I feel like we're right on the brink. It's just why I wanted, it's current events, it's relevant, so that's why we're talking about it.
Well, what my question for you is what about it? Because AI is a very broad subject. So what about it is the part that is freaking you out? I mean, are you imagining like, a Matrix scenario where all of AI bands together and tries destroying us? Are you talking about like on, you talked, what was it, last week about the privacy and it gathering information on us? Or are you thinking even like one-on-one interaction and you not knowing that something is, AI and it may be, and it tricks you into, getting something because it's smarter than you?
No, I don't. And I think ultimately we should always be able to tell face to face if somebody's, well, I mean, I say this lightly because this is what what we know now. You, in the future, who knows, in 10 years, you might go to McDonald's and the cashier behind the counter might be an android, but it looks like a human. I mean, you never know, then that kind of thing, right? Because they're already starting to automate the whole process, buying, distributing food and all of that. So, who knows before how long that could happen, because that's a very basic task. They have to take an order. They have to deliver an order. They don't have to do much other than that. But to answer your question, I would be more concerned with I guess it's ultimately like we were saying that, and I'm gonna break my own rule and say that, the Skynet scenario is ultimately the issue. You bring an artificial intelligence that lives on a planet online with all of the vast knowledge that we've inputted into it from all of our internet searches, our anything that's online, Wikipedia, anything that's news, everything that we've just shoveled onto this massive database, which is the internet, and you give it access to it, you connect it, and it just discovers that the human race is ultimately terrible for the planet.
Yeah,
we are pretty bad.
That's my thing is, I feel like I'm a pretty rational person looking at the facts and coming up with a decision. Yes, I do tend to follow my heart a lot, but I can look at things rationally. I feel like both you guys are very rational people as well. If by looking at all the facts, it goes, humans are pieces of shit, let's eliminate them, can you really go, I disagree? Like,
no, but that's not the point. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I'm going to sit here and tell you for a fact that we, like, as a species in general, are terrible to the planet. Yeah.
Parasite.
So let me stop you guys there. So I feel like the only time artificial intelligence will really get dangerous, I don't think Skynet will happen. Okay. I don't think, like, again, like as Jack said, like, if you're looking at it from like a scientific point of view, and as Jack brought up in the previous podcast, like, everybody's an idiot in the movie. Like, nobody knows how to properly perform their duties. I feel like they have some kind of, they would know what to do in that kind of situation. However, when we start, when there's multiple robots and then you start giving all of them the same rights as humans, I feel like that's when it will become, a bit more of a problem for the world, when it becomes a social issue.
Okay.
I mean, look at like right now, like, it's insane right now how the world is with, all of its social issues. When you throw robots into that, it's just gonna, take a huge bonfire of just, awfulness. It's
okay,
just
so
not a good time.
But that's exactly my point, though, right? So there's the whole, like, Josh, you brought it up earlier. The Boston Dynamics is in the news again because they keep advancing their robots. Now they're adapting to their surroundings, and then they're able to just, actually look like they're, a human being reacting to a situation, right? So if you think back, 3, 4, 5 years ago, those same robots that they were making, they would put up a video of them walking, like, really, really, awkwardly. Then they'd get kicked over and they wouldn't be able to get up, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, haha, look at that robot, it's funny. But now it's like you roll a log at it and it just, like, nimbly hops over it, and you're like, okay, wait a minute,
yeah,
like, what's happening here? But my point is that as far as what Luch is saying with the whole, okay, well, you throw robots in the mix of social issues. When I watched the video of the robot dog getting kicked over, I felt bad for the robot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Naturally.
Why?
Because the thing was cute as hell.
But it's not real. My point is that is not a human being. It doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have a spirit. It doesn't feel emotion. It doesn't feel
pain, and I see where you're getting at. Yeah.
But the problem is that I still viewed it as like an entity, because you can interact with it, you can speak to it, and like give it commands and stuff. So like, that's not a real dog. But like, I was like, shoot, don't kick the dog, dude.
Yeah, like you're mad at the guy for kicking it.
Yeah, like, oh, man, but it's not real. So then you put that into a human, an android-sized human that's not a machine, and then all of a sudden. Well, now that Android works too much. Now you got to give it time off. Now now it needs to go on vacation. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
That was the crazy thing is, so like when I remember watching like multiple movies with AI creatures or whatever, and people were treating them like trash, and I was like, I don't understand. How could you do that? Like, these things are amazing. They're some of the coolest things that our minds could even create at this point. Like these walking, talking robots that are just like us. This is incredible. But then I'd turn and I would yell and curse out my phone because Siri did something stupid. And I would call it the most terrible things and treat it like trash. And this is like, no, it's just, this is the AI that I have. It just looks like a little box instead of a person. But it's like, put Siri into something that looks like a person, treat it that same way. And it's like, oh yeah, I could kind of see things going dark really quick.
Mm-hmm. See, and there hasn't really been any kind of, pop culture, any kind of entertainment based around the idea of a android with, human emotion and feelings going into the world and then trying to make a name for itself. Or I guess kind of like Chappie, but that was really not really kind of the point of it. But but what I'm saying is, I think that's kind of the take on the turn into where like that would be the major problem for AI. Like that would be like, as you said, Jack, like when a human all of a sudden, like, or when an android, works at McDonald's, they work for 3 months straight, and then somebody's like, that's not really fair to this robot. Why are you putting in making him do so much work? He needs to have at least a 5-minute break to let him recharge his batteries or whatever, and then it will become racist when we start saying stereotypical stuff about robots, like, oh, why don't you go back home and go chug on some motor oil, you dumb machine. Like when it gets to that point, like we need to view robots are robots.
Well, to like kind of interject there with your, you said you haven't seen something that like where it goes into the world. Did you see Ex Machina?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
I mean, they basically
terrifying.
Oh, I mean, I don't really care for it that much, because I just, again, I feel like a lot of times they do movies like that end up being very pandering.
Hey, can we start my bone to pick segment? So hold
on. We'll get to
Ex Machina.
Josh, we'll get to that later, Josh. We'll get to your bone to pick later. However, Jack,
he wants to change his bone to pick right now.
There's one thing about Ex Machina, Jack, and like one thing about it is she went out into the world at the end, like as a human.
Spoiler alert.
See, I don't. If a robot managed to escape today and it looked just like a human and it tried to blend into societal whatever, that's fine. It's not a robot that's trying to declare itself a robot and say that it has rights because it is a robot.
Yeah.
She just wanted to be human, I believe, whatever her aspect of her feelings were. But what I'm saying is that like when it becomes a fact that people are rioting in the street saying, we need to give these robots a sense of self, that they need to be recognized as functioning members of society. That's where the issue comes in.
Right.
She just wanted to be human. She left going on her own, doing whatever.
But that's my problem, though, is that like you in a lot of these movies and stories and stuff, a lot of times the robot doesn't even know that it's a robot at first, right? Because the artificial intelligence footprint and the imprint that's put onto its CPU, right, makes it feel like it has emotions, makes it feel like it has real feelings,
memories or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, right? So then you're like, wait a minute. So I'm going to circle all the way back around because I didn't really want to like dive super deep down this rabbit hole because this is kind of like a brief overview, just because it's in the news and stuff. But I'm going to circle all the way back around to my original question was, has science gone too far? Meaning, like, have we already crossed the threshold, right? Have we crossed the threshold of, it's too late, and artificial intelligence is to a point where like now we can't go back. And what I mean by that is, like you were mentioning Siri. So now we're used to having Siri, a Siri-like person on our smartphone. Whereas like, on Android, you have like the Google Assistant. I have, the Amazon Alexa, and all of these different things where you can talk to it. Once you break past a barrier technology wise, you don't go back from there. It's not like you can uninvent fire, right? It's not like once the bullet was made, you can go back to the Stone Ages where you're only shooting arrows, right? Yeah. And so then it just keeps advancing from there. Once we make lasers that shoot out, into space with spacecraft, oh, well, now we're there. We can't go back. So anyway, yeah, I just think that ultimately we stand like right here with artificial intelligence on this brink, right? We're either going to see the human race go into the future with this amazing, advancing exponentially, this amazing technology that can, cure cancer and, replace organs and help us live longer and do all this amazing stuff, right? Or we see it get to this point where we go, oops. and right. if we go oops, it's too late, right? So if we have that moment where we go oops as a race, then we're in trouble. And I think that's ultimately what I was
and that's where I agree with you. If as long as we don't think of robots in a social type manner, I think we'll be fine. In all honesty, I'm not too worried about there being some kind of Skynet menace coming at us. I just think the issue would be more social. But you know what, Jack and Josh, talking about AI has made me parched. And nothing goes better than talking about AI than Two Henry's Brewing Company Blueberry Vanilla Wheat Beer. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that, Jack?
So you're talking about this week's beer of the week, Two Henry's Brewing Company, another smaller brewery. It is, in my opinion, this is one of their best beers, the blueberry vanilla. It's very sweet, very crisp. I think you're going to like it. I'm excited to have you try it. Again, I like the nice, crisp, refreshing beers overall. I can definitely go into a little bit of a darker sometimes, and whatever. But my ideal beer is one that I can enjoy sitting in the sun somewhere. It's the entire reason I moved to the beach. Like I just want to be able to just enjoy the outdoors.
I have high expectations if you're giving it that.
Well, I want to let you do the honors and pop that.
I think I will. Go
ahead.
Ooh,
oh, sounds so good.
So good. Mm-hmm. Wow. All right.
Mm-hmm. The anticipation is killing me.
I really get that hit of blueberry. Oh my God. It's like a blueberry cake beer.
I told you. Oh, that wasn't a good sound.
Maybe
I
have to grow on it.
You have to grow on it? I don't know how you're going to grow on it. It might grow on you.
Hang on one second. I need Chives' opinion on this. Chives?
Chives,
have a
He doesn't like beer.
He's gonna try. He's coming. Okay. Come here, Chives.
So blueberry vanilla wheat.
Yep, blueberry vanilla wheat. Like I said, it's nice and light, nice and crisp. It's nice and sweet as well.
Yeah.
It's my favorite from Two Henry's, and I recommend that anybody that's listening, if you can find one, try it out. And then tell me about it.
I would be willing to try it out.
You guys didn't hear Chives' opinion on that, did you?
No.
Okay. All right. We're all good then. Chives likes it. Chives likes it.
See? All right. I knew Chives was a good man. Good man, Chives.
You know, it might have to grow on me. It's got a different aftertaste, but like that blueberry hits you right smack dab in your face.
Yeah, I mean it's a blueberry vanilla wheat, man. What do you expect?
God.
Blueberry to come later? Like, what's the deal?
I just wasn't expecting it to be that like in there.
Well, now that we're all riled up, okay.
Yeah.
It's time to pick some bones.
That's
I love that so much.
Alrighty, Josh, lay it on us.
Well, you already heard that I wanted to change mine.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, my original idea for my bone to pick was going to be the fact that Jack doesn't fucking like anything anymore. It's driving me nuts. All I see is every tweet is, this show sucks. This movie sucks. Like, and then, no, I stood down on some different things. Like, you didn't like Westworld.
Yep.
That was greatly upsetting to me because I still to this day think it's the greatest thing that has ever graced television other than It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones. Don't get me wrong. I
Better
love
than
it
Westworld.
a ton.
Oh, and it's not even a comparison.
What?
In my personal opinion, it
You
does
don't think
not
it's better
come
than
close.
Westworld? Oh my god. We
my-
are officially not friends. I quit. I'm done.
No,
This is it.
okay,
Last
so, but you've admitted that there is one show that you like, and that's Game of Thrones. But then, what was your whole thing with Ex Machina? That movie was done so well.
No, it was not.
It wasn't.
God,
it was not done well.
It ends up being pandering. I don't like movies that try to be too smart for their own good. They try to come off smart, but it ends up being like a movie that thinks that you're stupid watching it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like when the protagonist gets his like his entirety, like the protagonist lays down, like that's supposed to like, you know, be like an image of you, like inside the movie. You know, it kind of gives you like, you know, the hero's journey. There was none of that in this movie. This guy was thrown for a loop every single time that he encountered any other person in that movie. He had no like part in that movie where he was like, huh, you know, I'm a genuinely smart dude. I'm pretty proud of myself at this moment. No, he got screwed by his boss. He got screwed by the robot lady almost. And he ended up getting locked inside of a room with a bunch of lifeless robot corpses.
He's supposed to be smart, but he's dealing with someone that he has already said multiple times is light years smarter than him. It's like me hanging out with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Neil being able to like pull one over on me. It's like, yes, because you are way smarter than me. They discuss that multiple times in the movie. And then the AI being able to do that was like the whole progression of the movie was the fact of we didn't know how far she was able to go. I mean, this was supposed to be the start of the Turing test. And then it's one person is planning things one way, another person's planning things another way, and it's like, you know, the twist on top of a twist on top
and
of a twist.
she needed to be destroyed like 3 months ago.
Exactly. But
and like
she
I mean
was
like
able to infiltrate him in such a different way.
Infiltrate the employee. The boss knew what was happening. The boss was like, dude, I knew this girl was like playing you for a fiddle like the moment you saw her. Right. Even though he was a complete scumbag, you know, the way he treated his female robots, he still saw them as what they were, and that was robots.
Yes.
They're still robots. But what I'm saying is the movie was ridiculous in terms of it not being like an actual, you know, well-filmed movie. Like, it really was not. There was no point in that movie where it's like, wow, man, this, you know, from a cinema side of it, this is fantastic.
Oh, I would totally.
Do I get to give my rebuttal here? Because since you got a bone to pick with me,
yeah.
Do I get to give? Okay, so.
Well, apparently, I hate both of you now.
Well, no, I mean you put out into the ether that you think Westworld is better than Game of Thrones, and I feel like everybody hates you now because that's just like not even close to being.
All right, hashtag Team Josh Westworld. Join my squad. Everybody,
oh my god,
we're hanging out over here.
This isn't Twilight, okay?
Yeah, you're over you're over there in the corner by yourself. I promise.
Well, at least I like both.
That and the one guy selling comic books at Comic-Con. So,
right.
Who says that? Who says that Game of Thrones is too mainstream?
So my rebuttal to me, your bone to pick, and you saying that I don't like anything anymore. I'm not a fan of lazy writing. I don't like it. These people get paid a lot of money for these shows, movies. They get so much money. And from a writing standpoint, if I can watch something that's done really low budget with, a lot less money, but the writing is legit, I would much rather watch good character progression, solid storyline, something that makes sense as in like logically follows from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. The problem with most shows nowadays is that they try to be so clever that they jump around their own storyline to the point of like there is no cohesion, and it just doesn't make sense when it's actually being put into an on-screen story.
Just like Annihilation. You saw that movie, Jack?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. What do you think of Annihilation? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What was that movie even about? I thought it was going to be a cool movie with like, they fight off some, badass like mutant, type bear, wolf, alligator mutant things, and then it ends up becoming some kind of cosmic,
so that's exactly my point. Why can't a movie like that not reach outside of its own like dome and just be a creature movie? Just be like an alien movie.
That's what the entire like commercials were about.
Yeah, why does it have to go? Why does it have to go get like supernatural and like cloney? And at the end, she's like fighting herself, and it's like you're not even sure like which one's real. And did the real one make it, or did she live? And now she has the thing, and it's outside of the little bubble. Like
exactly.
Why can't it just be her husband went in there? He had some contact with some beast or some creature that like infected him or whatever happened, and then now they have to go in and figure out what it is. Why can't it just be like what it is?
You know what?
And it tries to be so smart that it's stupid.
Here we go. Husband goes in, right? He disappears with his squad. Wife goes in with her squad. All of her squad mates get annihilated, right? Get it? Annihilation. Okay. She kills the bear and then finds another monster, right? And then she defeats that one only to find out that it was a mutated version of her husband.
Yeah.
Boom. Look at that. I just made myself $1 trillion.
You just wrote a better alternate ending in less than a minute.
Universal Studios. My email is bonus level Luch. You can contact me anytime. I'd be more than happy to write some screens for y'all.
Yeah, that's ultimately my issue is that most of the stuff that I'm watching, it has lazy writing, it has poor story and character development, and it tries to be a lot smarter than it is because it thinks that most writers and directors think that you have to be clever and you have to have some sort of twist in order to make a solid entertainment piece, and that's just not correct. That's false.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like,
I mean,
100%.
what's something that you've seen in this past year that you're like, that was good?
Okay, so it wasn't like 100% good. Meg, came out not too long ago. However, there was a part in that movie that made my jaw drop, and that was when the shark was like hanging, on the boat. When the shark was hanging on the boat, and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's going to come back alive and just murder someone." And then an even bigger shark comes out and myrtleizes like 2 people. Like that part literally had my jaw dropping. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, "Oh my god."
All right. Well, I'm not willing to go that far out on a limb and say that the Meg was a cinematic masterpiece. I did enjoy it
at all, but I
enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed it for what it was.
It was the book was way better, as my lovely wife can tell you people.
What it's funny. It's I'm trying to like think back on everything that I've watched this year, and it ends up being so much that I'm like, what really did I see that was really good? And I mean, I could be cliche since I'm like the comic book and the one that like loves that kind of stuff.
Avengers, the only movie that you like.
But that's the thing is that like even Avengers, like from a writing standpoint, I only like it because it's like that's my thing. Like I love all of the superheroes, and I'm just like totally in the whole Marvel universe. But like from a writing standpoint, I mean, there's holes. I could poke holes everywhere. Yeah. So I think I am watching things from a critical point of view, unless it's a soul entertainment piece that I'm going to be entertained. Like for instance, Venom is out in theaters. I guarantee you, if I wanted to watch that with a critical eye, I would probably think it's terrible.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I will go
does the
see
world.
it. I will go see it looking to be entertained because I love Tom Hardy. I think he's a fantastic actor, and seeing Venom on the big screen, it's going to be cool. And I'm going to expect that, and I'm going to get that, and I'm going to be like, yeah, it was awesome. You should see it. But I'm not going to come back and be like, Venom is the most brilliant writing, screenplay, cinematic movie.
I'm not even asking for that, but I'm asking, why don't you do that with more things? Like, I watched Hotel Artemis the other night. Have you guys seen that one yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Is it about a bunch of Greek archers making their way into a hotel and then they have a great night?
Artemis.
Jack.
But it has Charlie Day, who is my future husband.
Hilarious.
And
wait.
and no, so like that movie was exactly what I expected. It was just some fun, crazy chaos. It reminded me a lot of what was it, Smoking Aces, that kind of feel.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Which, like, Smoking Aces, to me, I loved it so much. The first, it was just complete chaos. It was just crazy. It was fun. You had the different groups of killers, all of that kind of stuff. It was great. Just turn off your brain fun. And
I got it.
Those kind of things, I enjoy that stuff a lot. And so sometimes, like, it makes me worried that you can't shut that off. If everything that you watch you hate, it just bums me out, because I want to be able to go like, I like this movie, and you go, I like this movie too, and I go, I like this movie, and you're like, yeah, that sucked.
No, I mean, I definitely I understand what you're saying, and you don't have to worry about it being like not being able to do, you shut it off, because that's just not the case. Like I said, I know going into some things that I just need to like enjoy it. If I go to the movies, I'm going to the movies to see a movie that I want to see.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I went to the theater and then came out of the theater and was like, wow, that movie sucked. Oh, actually, I can remember. No, I can. 2 years ago, It Comes at Night, one of the worst horror movies ever written and filmed and put out. That was an abomination of a movie.
I don't know.
And I went to the theater to see that because the trailer made it look super creepy. Mm-hmm. And so I was like going into it to see it. But that's the last one that I actually saw in the theater but I could rant about that. I hated that movie.
He didn't
so
get
much.
his refund.
So much. Just to put it into perspective, at the end of the movie, there was probably like 6 or 7 people in the theater, and I was sitting there by myself watching it. The movie ended. I just had this kind of like a WTF like face, and somebody else in the theater went, huh! Literally out loud. That's what somebody meant. Like they made that sound, and like out loud, I was like, "Yep." Like I just like out loud agreed with them with that sound. And that just sums up that movie. But fast forwarding this year, the last thing that I can actually say that I enjoyed from start to finish, writing wise, as well as cinematically, and the whole thing, was Quiet Place. John Krasinski's Quiet Place. It's a horror movie, of course, but I mean, writing wise, the first, I forget how many minutes. I think it's almost 25 to 30 minutes. The first half hour of the movie, not a single line of dialogue.
Yeah.
In the entire movie, there's only 8 minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes, I think, long. And if you put all the dialogue together, there's only 8 minutes of dialogue in the whole movie. And it, writing wise, is excellent. It was super good. It made sense. It kept you on the edge of your seat. It didn't try to be anything that it wasn't. And it was just good. It was just good from the start to finish.
Hold on. The only thing I have, to rebuttal about that statement is, like, again, it's one of those things where, like, okay, they written this character to be dumb, so it would happen this way. Like, I don't know, like, do you know how long, like, the invasion happened? How long they've been living in this for?
No,
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it for me.
Hold on.
It was long enough. It was long enough for her to not be pregnant, then become pregnant.
What I'm saying is like that kid. You know what kid I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was that dumb to do that. Like I understand he's a kid.
He was like 3. What do you mean?
I know, then a good amount of his life has been spent in this.
No, I don't think. I think it was less than a year. I think it literally had just happened.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like they've been still growing up in this way. Like I think it would take a standard kid like 3 months to get what's going on.
No,
Like, yeah, I think
not a kid that little. Not a kid that little. He doesn't know. Man, kids that little forget the fact that you like told them not to eat the sandwich that's on the table in front of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I still feel like, you know, take the batteries out of it. You know, something.
but that's neither here nor there because that, I mean, the kid,
how do we even get to this? What are we even doing?
Well, no, I'm talking about, that was the last thing that he was saying, like, can you turn it off? But that was it. He also asked me what the last thing I saw that I could actually like super vouch for. And that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. And Hotel Transylvania 3. But,
that was a good one.
Josh has 2 kids.
Yeah.
It's acceptable, people.
I can definitely turn that off though. So don't worry about that. I just, I have a lot of criticism for,
Hey, well, I'll just know when I recommend anything, I'll go, hey, you should go see this movie. Oh, yeah, turn it off before you see it.
By the way, guys, you can recognize Jack in the movie theater. He'll be the one wearing the beret with the tight gray sweater with the red scarf wrapped around his neck, leather pants, legs crossed, and nice stylish boots.
Going,
wait.
Oh!
How drab.
No, actually, you know what's great? Is that reminds me of something I watched this week.
Okay.
That I am recommending that you should never watch.
All right, give it to me.
All right. So there is a new show. I say new. It came out like not too long ago. Chives, could you look up the show Castle Rock for me? It has it has Bill Skarsgård in it, right? The guy who played Pennywise in the new It.
Okay,
it has him.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The younger Skarsgård. It has him, and then nobody else like that's like super A-list.
Is it Netflix one?
It's an Amazon Prime show.
Ooh.
Or no, Hulu. It's a Hulu show.
Hulu.
Hulu show. It's directed by. It's just like a J.J. Abrams / Stephen King like adaptation. Like it's basically without taking place in Stephen King's ultimate world. It kind of does. It's weird, right? So there's like themes and stuff from all of Stephen King's books. Like it takes place partly in Shawshank, right? Like around that whole thing. So the premise is really cool, right? And I was like watching the preview. And it's spooky month, and I know, like I told you last week, Nicole doesn't really like scary movies, so sometimes we have to compromise on what we're watching. And this was kind of like a drama / horror, right? So we decided to start watching it. I did not want to finish the first episode.
Was it that bad?
I'm gonna try it. It looks right up my alley.
Very, 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 very few shows and movies make me want to stop watching. Like I will at least watch it once and be like, okay, that sucked. I'm not going to do it. I had to force myself to finish the first episode. The whole time through, we're just sitting there looking at each other like, this is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
From a writing standpoint, your pilot episode, the first episode, should not. Okay, it's okay to make the audience and the viewer go, wait, what?
Yes.
But whenever you literally are doing that every scene, because the scenes just don't mesh to each other, you have no idea what one scene is to another, and you're trying to get into the show to get it going, you shouldn't have to be like, okay, well, maybe the second episode is better. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have to do that whenever you're starting a TV show. It's just like with our podcast, we're like, okay, well, at the beginning of the podcast, if a listener goes, what? Yeah, they're not going to continue listening, right? So you want to start out and kind of paint this picture, and then let the viewer dive into the show, the movie, whatever the story is that you're trying to tell. And I tell you, and I did not want to finish the first episode. I did, and then at the end of the episode, there was like a little like cliffhanger, which made me want to watch the first 10 seconds of the second episode. Mm-hmm. So then I did. And before we watched it, I was like, if X doesn't happen in the first minute of the second episode, I'm not watching it. And guess what? X did not happen in this first minute of the second episode, and I was like, nope, that's it.
You scared me for a second because I thought you were going to say that it like terrified you, like it made you want to turn it off in terms of like you were so scared because it was just another, The Mist, which was another utter disappointment.
No, absolutely. This was a disappointment. I was excited because Bill Skarsgård did such a great job in it. That's another movie in the past year that was really well done cinematically.
And I can't wait till part 2.
It's obviously a remake, right? So
that's true.
The story's already there, but
and I enjoyed that.
It was excellent.
The visuals at the sewer stuff was crazy cool. I loved it. It was oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Hold on.
Yes, okay. You go first, then I'll go.
Well, we definitely got to, kind of trim it down a little bit. I know we're kind of like the 50-minute mark already, but what I can say is, Jack, I did see that Pet Sematary was coming out.
The new one.
How did it look to you? Did you see the commercial?
I didn't actually watch the trailer for it or like the little teaser for it. So
it was different. I just hope it sticks to the original a little bit. I mean, the trailer kind of threw me off for a loop a little bit, but it seemed creepy. It seemed creepy. I might give it a chance.
Okay. Yeah, Castle Rock. Don't watch it. That's my don't watch this week.
The Mist. Don't watch it. And Westworld is not better than Game of Thrones.
Facts. Josh, did you have like a last little tidbit there?
Oh yeah, my last little bit was do you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia at all? Have you guys watched the newest season?
Of course.
I mean, I don't like this.
I've watched the newest season, and the first episode was not good.
Oh my goodness, I am loving this season so much.
I didn't watch anything after the first episode, so I just haven't had time to watch it. But the first episode, it just was.
The episodes are 22 minutes long or something like that, and so you can kind of burn through them. So if there's parts that you don't like or parts that you do, I will say that the very first episode of this season started slow. I think it ended good. And then since then, everything has been really good. This last episode, it's not often during shows or even movies that I belly laugh hard. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia makes me freaking belly laugh. And I love it.
It's great. I definitely love the show.
I've never had that sensation.
Oh my!
You've never belly laughed?
No, I have belly laughed, just not from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, then you're missing out.
I would give a limb to keep that show on the air.
Well, you might have to.
If the time ever comes to it, guys, hit me up. I will donate a limb to keep that show on the air.
Oh my god!
I don't. Okay. Well,
the internet expects it, Josh.
Done.
All right. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so where from here, boys?
Alrighty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that 30-minute long bone picking time. That was some good stuff. But one thing I do want to say is over the past couple weeks ago, Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out. And I'm sure that neither one of you two have played it. So it'll be up to me to deliver the facts to our beautiful audience. So I've been playing the game for about 2 weeks now. It's a Assassin's Creed game. They're a dime a dozen, same thing as Call of Duty. However, the past 2 games, Origins and Odyssey, has taken a kind of a bit more RPG aspect to it, where you can kind of like customize your character. It's not just about stealth assassinating everybody now. You now can fight people and use bows and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. However, this one, the game that has come out has had a really cool take because it's taking place back during the time of mythology, like Greek mythology. So you play the part of a mystios or a mercenary and you live the entire time through the Cyclops, Medusa, the Peloponnesian War. Spartans versus Athens, which you can choose which side you want to pick. By the way, I'm on Athens. Everybody should be Athens, because Sparta wins, and Sparta are a bunch of jocks.
Yeah, facts.
But I've been having a really good time with it. The gameplay's fun, fighting's fun. The mechanics are good. There are some. All right, let me guys tell you about this fight. Okay. All right, and I was getting super ragey, Jack. All right, I should have clipped it for you because I I was like having a fit. So early on, this was like level 13, right? There's like 40 levels in the game. Okay. You fight this legendary beast for these super hot ladies of Artemis, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go impress some ladies of Artemis, I could be a part of that. And I go over there and they're like, oh, well, you need to go kill this boar, right? And this boar is like, he looked like Pumbaa, but a really big Pumbaa. And he called forth little Pumbas. But dude, this fight was so annoying because every single time you got him down like a little bit of health, he just summoned more Pumbas, and they would charge at you and it would stagger you. So they would all come at you as homing fucking sticking missiles, and they would just hit me and I would fall over, and then this, big Pumbaa would come in and just mow me down. It would take away all of my health and my character would just flail on the ground and die. And it would make me so tilted because when he summons these mini Pumbas, he just heals. And so I'm with my wife, she's watching me play. It was actually her character when I first did this fight. I was helping her fight it. She was getting super mad at me, by the way, because I was getting super mad. I was getting super mad. Like when I get mad at a video game, like I scream and like, how is this even fair? Tell me. Huh? And I'm like screaming at nothing.
Yeah.
And
I feel you.
and this boar or Pumbaa, I was fighting over his little boars. I was like, all right, okay, so I'm doing good. I'm chipping away his health, keeping my health up, taking away his boars. All of a sudden, he comes back at me after I got him down to like 50% health. He comes at me with full health again. And I'm like, I'm like, what? I'm like, no, this can't be real. It's not a thing. So like for a good 2 minutes, I was tricking myself into thinking that, he did not have full health when he totally did. Anyways, I probably fought this boar like 5 times, each time like 20 minutes, right? A good time. It took me like an hour and a half to beat this thing. Okay, the most satisfying, creature slaughter I've ever done in my life. But this boar, dude, this Pumbaa was the most god tier Pumbaa. And, because boars in like video games, they're like the beginning creatures. They're the things that you pick on to level up. No, not this one, dude. This one was Ragnaros of Pumbas. This one was god tier Pumbaa. This one was Jungle Aatrox Diamond Pumbaa.
Oh no.
Yeah, this thing was not a fun time. And I really wish you could have seen me play this game because I was not.
Funny that you say that because last week you told everybody about Bonus Level Gaming's Twitch, and you could have been streaming this.
Yeah.
So
hers was on Xbox One.
Okay, well, you can stream from Xbox.
I don't have a capture card, unfortunately. They do Mixer, but I don't want to do Mixer. But anyways, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a very fun game. I've been playing. Both me and my wife, I think, are at right now like the 40-hour to 45-hour mark. Right, so we've gotten a lot of time into there, and we still haven't even completed the story, and we're still only half level right now. But the game's long. The pirate where you can invade ships in the middle of the ocean is super fun.
Nice.
By the way, you can't kill sharks. They're they're not fun. I hope there's not a god tier shark or the thing won't even be doable. I had to kill Simba the other day. He was easy. He was a lot easier than Pumbaa. Pumbaa was god tier.
What is this game? Is this game of just slaughtering Disney characters? This is crazy.
Oh,
I don't know if this is safe for kids, bro.
I don't know.
No. You murder some human Disney characters too.
Okay, so it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, the Beast is in there as the Minotaur, so that was fun. But no, it's a really cool game. It does have kind of a little bit of history in there. It's not nowhere near as historically accurate as history.
History.
But you can actually make choices in this game, which is really cool. So you can tell your character what to do and where to go. So if someone says hey, that god tier level boar that's in the middle of this field, I need you to go kill that for me. You can literally tell the guy no. No, okay. I'm not going to do it. I've already died 6 times by this thing. I'm not going back there. I'm sorry. I already have the power of resurrection, but it still hurts a lot. So I'm not going back there. And then you move on to the next quest. But it's... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you're enjoying it? Or I can't tell.
I am. It's other than god tier level Omega Pumbaa. It's a very enjoyable game.
Okay, so what's your rating? What's Luch's star rating out of 5?
Lucha's star rating will definitely be a 8 out of 10.
That's so odd. I thought I said out of 5, and somehow we had an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just so we'll say 4 out of 5. But the only reason it doesn't get 2 stars is that there are definitely some mechanical issues in terms of compatibility. Like for instance, when it comes to the bounty system, I don't know why, but no matter how many people that you murder, just bounty. It's like the what do you call it? The police system in like Grand Theft Auto, or like the law system, whatever it's called. When you keep murdering people, you like get more bounty. And no matter what people you murder, other than neutral bandits, you get these bounties, and they'll just keep coming after you. But these bounty hunters, bro, range anywhere from level 5 to God tier level 50. And they don't discriminate. It's whatever bounty hunter's closer to you. And so like we're just sitting there having a good time, and I'm over here in like Athens, just myrtleizing some people, and I get like I was in like level 4 bounty, I was whooping Sparta pretty hard, and then all of a sudden I'm like level 22, and then level 36 comes rolling down the field, and I'm just like, I got this. I mean, come on. I've done this plenty of times in other video games. No, it doesn't work like that. There is no level handicap. If he is 1 level higher than you, or okay, not 1 level, but if he's 2 levels higher than you, you do feather tickling damage to him. Okay. And he is able to smack you with a spatula, and your head will just go clean off, bro. It's a fun game though, but the only 2 stars is because I don't feel any game deserves a 10 star. There isn't a perfect game out there, sorry. Other than Fallout,
Nintendo 64 GoldenEye.
No, nowhere near. But other than some like slight mechanical issues, some gameplay mechanics that just don't make any sense, like Pumbaa, and there are some times where I don't know, it might be the Xbox, it might be my computer, but it's weird that it happens coincidentally where the game freezes at certain moments at the same spot. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it is a very good game. I might even give it an 8.5. It's an 8.5. We'll give it that.
Okay. There you heard it here. 8.5.
8.5.
Odyssey.
It is a good game. It retails for $60, $59.99. You can get it at GameStop, Amazon, Newegg. Newegg doesn't sell video games. I was kidding. Pretty much anywhere you can buy video games. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. We're not sponsored by any of these people, so I have no idea.
You're true. That's very true. I don't know why you're plugging.
Alrighty.
Josh, don't you have an artist of the week to talk about?
Yeah, I can do that real quick. Let's see. So
wait. Now you can start.
Oh my god.
Perfect. Yes. Band of the week this week is going to be an old school favorite, Atreyu. Now, Atreyu formed back in 1998. Okay.
Damn.
So before Luch was even born. And
what? Do you know how old? Did you say 1998?
Yeah. No,
dude, I'm 25.
He hit him with it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, before Luch was born, and so in
he can't math good.
2002 was back their first CD. So like this takes me back. This is a band that back in my most influential days of my metal, my screamo, my hardcore, all that kind of stuff, really learning music and exploring things. Atreyu was one of those founding bands for me. Reason I'm picking them as my artist this week is they just released a new CD on the 12th, so last Friday. So it's been out a couple days now. Listened to it a couple times on Spotify. I am really enjoying it, and I don't know if it's just to me a nostalgia type thing of, they have a very unique sound, especially like their singer, their clean vocals. That dude sound like I can pick him out of a crowd of people, like a very, very unique sound. I love it. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of takes me back to like those older days of those guys. They also, track 12, I think, on their new CD, has 2 guest singers. Jack, you may know one of them, Mr. Aaron Gillespie. Don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
Oh. But of course.
Yes, the clean vocals from Under Oath from back in the day. And M Shadows does guest vocals on it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
From
it's like all early 2000s all rolled up into one song.
Geez, that's like,
which is pretty
wow,
awesome.
yeah.
So real quick, how do you spell Atreyu?
Atreyu, like the
Atreyu.
Never Story,
just like Never Ending Story. Yes.
Yes. So,
How does Atreyu spell out to Never Ending Story?
No. You've never seen Never Ending Story?
okay,
My wife's yelling at me right now. Okay, hold
my
on. hold on. What's Never Ending Story? Elaborate on that for me.
okay.
I'm so disappointed
this
in
is
this
kind
moment.
of a new segment called Old School Movies: The Never Ending Story.
Hold on, Chives. I need a view on this monitor for me, real quick.
Okay,
Never Ending Story. The flying dog. Atreyu, Artax.
came out in 1884, long before you were born.
Okay. All right. Okay. My wife's hitting me right now. Okay.
Seriously.
I know what you're talking about now. Okay. The creepy looking dragon dog thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In that movie, you have Atreyu. The band has the same name, but they're completely unrelated. They are not singing songs about the never-ending story. Of course.
Falcor and Atreyu.
Anyway. So, but anyways, yes, to keep it short, definitely pick up that CD or just download it like you normally would on Spotify or whatever. Check it out. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I will throw in my 2 cents for Atreyu. I also, since Josh and I were the same age, so around the same time, me getting into this kind of music, the heavier metal and rock and stuff like that, this was a little bit like on the edge of, because I think I got into like a lot more heavier stuff later than you did.
Yeah.
I was listening to just like regular rock and punk and everything like that around this time, but this was I really liked heavier stuff later, like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And their song "Becoming the Bull" was like one of like the first songs I actually listened to by them, and I like it a lot. And a little fun fact about them, I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if it's still true, but back then in 2007, they were actually under the Walt Disney Music Company.
Oh, really? I was not aware of that. But I do know, I think it was Becoming the Bull was their one of their big breakout songs. I think that one I actually heard like on the radio. And that's during that point in my life, that was like a death wish for a band. Where it was like, crap.
A metal band?
Yeah, they're like,
on the
you
radio.
made it on the radio and you suck now. You got too soft. Like, go back and listen to the original, like the first CD and everything. But yeah, those guys always fun to listen to. And
so one thing I did want to say about last week's Artist of the Week. So I did take a listen to Architects.
Yes. All right. Give it to
Josh.
us.
I like it. I like the music. I feel that for me, the only time I listen to it is when I'm playing like a very, very fast-paced, intense shooter game like Doom, and then I'm just having that play in the background.
Yeah.
When I'm driving down the car, it's because again, most of their music in terms of their songs is a lot of screaming. So I don't learn to listen to it. I do still listen to Beartooth.
Yeah. I'm glad.
But it's definitely one of my new go-to bands in terms of when I play video games by myself.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Every band that I'm going to be hitting on, I'm hitting on them for different reasons. They're all in slightly different genres. You could even say, like, even inside the metal world, even though someone who doesn't know much about it may clump them all together because it's heavy, it's screaming and stuff like that. They all have their slight differences and stuff like that can make you like one more than another. So I'm trying to kind of spread things out here and there. But because everyone is putting out CDs for some reason right now, I'm trying to hit on all these guys to let everyone know, hey, new music's out. So like, even if you are an Atreyu fan from back in the day, hey, you get a whole new CD of these guys to listen to now.
And I definitely agree. But you know what else makes me scream is people with emotional tattoos. Right. Gosh, I think you have a lot to say on this.
No, it's not emotional tattoos. I'm not saying. I don't
Pose the question for us. Go ahead.
No, so I guess my question, and to lead into it, why I was pondering this question is the fact that through my photography business, I have networked and met up with a tattoo shop. And we're going to be doing some work together. I'm going to be doing some pictures for them. They're going to, work up some tattoos for me and everything. And so, like, at this point, I have multiple tattoos. Some of them mean a lot to me. Others are just random stuff on my body. So I was curious as to, figured it'd be something fun just to kind of talk about like what you guys think as far as if you're scarring your body for the rest of your life, how serious do you have to be about what the image is?
Luch, you don't have any tattoos, do you?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Not yet. Okay. So
not yet. I will be getting you guys will be there for my first one.
Sweet.
Okay. It's gonna be the bonus level logo.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Would the orange kind of clash?
No. It just depends. Depends. It really just depends on where you put it.
Yeah.
As somebody that's I wouldn't say that I'm heavily tattooed, right? I think there's a line between being heavily tattooed and being professionally, businessly tattooed. Like my tattoos are able to be, for the most part, covered in a professional matter, right? So I don't have to I don't consider myself heavily tattooed, but I'm tattooed in pretty much every area of my body, like as far as skin coverage. So if people were like, oh, I have a tattoo on my back, why? I have back, shoulders, sides, arms, legs, calf, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And I every sample part, I have something.
He's the sample model.
Yeah. So I'm not heavily tattooed, but I will. Every single one of mine means something.
Yeah.
And when I say mean something, at the time you get them for whatever reason, do I regret any of them? Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
How many of them were drunk tattoos?
None.
Oh, that's no fun.
Like I said, what I mean by that is when I think that you have to get a tattoo for a reason, right? Even if the reason is stupid.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Right? You're not just going in there and be like, draw something on me.
Yeah.
For the most part. Now that's just me. Now I know that there's plenty of people out there that just go and be like, throw down their arm and say, hit me up.
Do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I want something that says regrets.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that either. I'm saying for me, and my answer to your question is that when I get it, it's going to be for a reason, even if the reason is stupid and doesn't make sense. Yeah. And ultimately, maybe a year, 2 years, whatever down the road, I will regret it.
See, and that kind of answer right there is how I know that we're friends and not our movie taste all the time, because I like that kind of answer. That to me, I don't know the word for it, but yes.
Love.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the fact that you guys have known each other for an insanely amount of long time.
No, this was
it just has to do with the fact that he agrees with your emotional tattoo views.
Yeah, I mean, there's just different things on that weird kind of level, because it's hard to ask that question straight out. It's you kind of got to go down different avenues to get to that point to figure out what is it deep down.
Hold up, Josh. So I can't walk up to someone with a cool tattoo on their arm and be like, "Hey, I like your tattoo. What's it about?"
Well, no, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. What he's talking about is the deeper, not even what that tattoo means, but just what it would take. What it would have to mean to him in order to actually get it put on his skin. So not the individual story behind each tattoo, but just his overall morals of what would I have to think about this particular thing in order to scar my body for the rest of my life.
By the way, if I ever did get a tattoo, all right, and it kind of won't mean, anything. I just, I feel like if I ever did get a tattoo, it would be an insanely stupid tattoo. it would be something I regret when I'm like 40.
No, listen, man. At the end of the day, even if it's something that you regret, you look at it like it can be a million different things. It can be a lesson that you learned. It can be a reminder. It can be a good a good feeling, right? It can be a good memory. So like each piece, even if it's stupid, even if it's like a cartoon character, right? And you just get it and you're like, ha, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It can still mean something good, bad, or neutral.
Yeah.
So let me stop you there because in all honesty, the tattoo that I was going to get had nothing to do with any of those things.
Okay.
It was literally I thought sleeves were cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted something that showed how crazy I was on the inside. And so I saw a commercial that had to do with I think it was a CarMax commercial where it was like there was a wizard riding a unicorn that was snorting out rainbows while the wizard was shooting a lightning bolt from its fingers, and it was farting out clouds. And I was like, oh, dude, that would look so sick on my arm. Like that's where my mind goes with tattoos.
But my point is that it's not saying that it needs to be a lesson for why you get it. I'm just saying, like, you're saying you'd regret it when you're 70. No, when you're 70 and you look back, you'd be like, oh wow, that this tattoo, for instance, I have one of my first metal band's logo from our very first CD that was actually like recorded in a studio and then like printed on a CD.
Yeah.
I have our logo on the inside of my shin. And I look at that, and some people will be like, "Well, that's just like a silly tattoo, like it's like on your shin, like whatever." And I look at it, and I think of that time, like that, those 2 years that I was in that band with those people, and like playing the shows and blah blah blah, whatever. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really good memory, right? So that's something that like I will look back on even when I'm old and it's all wrinkly and be like, that was a really good time in my life. Whereas other ones you might think and be reminded of like a mistake that you made or something like that.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, one of the things that made me kind of think of this was the fact of when I was talking with the shop, they said that they really wanted to do a cartoon color, like full color tattoo. They're like, I need some more of that kind of stuff in my portfolio. So like, think of some cartoon character that you'd like to have on you. And oh my God, I brainstormed today, like going through some emotional, like going back to like, the old school stuff that I watched when I was a kid, thinking back
in The Martian.
Oh yeah, I mean, just every little bit. I mean, it was either like Disney or Looney Tunes, or going back to like Battletoads and Street Sharks, or Skeletor, or
Battletoads
Shredder,
or the most amazing thing ever.
Right?
Yeah.
So much of that kind of stuff that I was like, should I get something like that, or should I get like a Pikachu, or should I get like Samus Aran from Metroid, Mega Man? Like there was so many.
How old of you were when Pokemon was a thing? Because I remember Pokemon. You had to have been in like what? Like high elementary school?
I don't know.
Like what? 4th, 5th grade?
No, we were in like middle school when it came out, right?
Yeah. Middle school, I would say. 5th or 6th grade, maybe 7th. I don't know.
Oh, so like.
But see, to me, Pokemon, because I have 2 little kids that think it is the coolest thing in the world, it has reignited my love for Pokemon. Like I definitely went a good 15 years not thinking about it, but now that my kids are back into it, it reminds me of how I felt, with Pokemon back when I was a kid.
Okay, first of all, Pokemon is nothing like it was back when we were a kid.
That's true.
All right. All right. Do you remember having to curl up in your parents' car, waiting for every single street light to strobe by as you're hoping that you'd be able to see a little bit of that screen? You remember that struggle?
Let me see the screen. I can't see it. There's no light.
I remember being at the doctor's office one day, and I had to. I couldn't. My phone was about to die, and I was about to catch like a Reggie Steele.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no.
Right. And then I was about to catch it. I was using my last Ultra Balls. I was using my Great Balls. My Game Boy was about to die, and so I grabbed my charger and like hurl myself at this wall. and this was next to like a ficus, right? And so I'm just chilling in the corner.
You missed the outlet and you went face first into the ficus.
No, I didn't go face first in the ficus. I just sat next to the ficus like some weird kid, and I kept going it, but I didn't plug in my charger.
Oh no!
And I thought I did, and I was like, and I didn't catch the register. Yeah.
Moral of the story: make sure you plug in your charger.
Yeah.
Yep. Phone, whatever it is. Game Boy Colors, guys. Those are the best things ever.
Yeah.
If you haven't experienced one, you need to get one. They're like $50.
For sure. Agreed. Do it.
But so when I get my fire-breathing wizard mermaid unicorn tattoo, I'll let you guys know. And you guys give me a rating.
You know what? I will. I will love it. You know what's funny?
What's funny?
That ficus that you just talked about was the final boss.
Oh my god!
And you have defeated the final boss.
It was the final boss of my childhood, bro. I was there with like all the kids and like parents looking at me like, what the hell is this kid doing just sitting next to this ficus?
But
I'm pretty sure they didn't even call it a ficus. It was like, what's the kid doing next to that plant? I'm sitting over here calling it's a ficus, sir. All right, it's the most noble of office plants.
Yeah. So, anyways, going back to my thing real quick. If anyone has any cartoon character recommendations that I should throw into the mix, because I only have 20 or 30 that I'm debating between right now. So if you want to tack onto that, some of your recommendations, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Give me your recommendations.
Okay, so I recommend doing half of your chest and stomach as Johnny Bravo, with his arm going next to your bicep and arm. And so when you flex, it's him flexing. And then have his head facing over with his eyebrows raised up. You know how he does?
Whoa, mama.
And then just have a little saying from him.
Yeah, I got it. That's it.
I like it.
Done.
Either that or just playing Marvin the Martian is my recommendation to you. But
or you could do like a
anyways,
super edgy like vampire Pikachu.
Okay. I have no words for you at this moment in my life.
Oh, I could also do like a mecha dolphin with like rocket launchers, but it's like riding on like, a train track about to get ran over by like a demon train. But then the demon train is being rode by like angels that are like fighting like Spartans on top of.
See, why aren't you covered?
It's so many things.
You have so many great ideas. You could be covered right now in great ideas.
Seriously?
Oh my god, dude! I would.
So many awesome tattoo ideas.
I'm just gonna have my own tattoo shop. There's gonna be a bunch of random tattoos. I don't even do tattoos. I just come up with the ideas.
I like it. Anyways, that was the final boss. That crazy conversation around flying Gandalf on unicorns.
I didn't specify Gandalf. Okay, that's trademarked. But
that's true.
But that ficus, he was utterly defeated. Unfortunately, he lived a very short lifespan. Okay, they didn't water him properly. But after that, you have completed level 4 of the bonus level. Ooh. Congratulations, guys.
Level 4 is over.
We thank you so much for coming to this podcast this week. We're happy to keep having your views and listens. Don't forget to hit us up on any of the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, when Facebook gets up and running. Again, we do have that Discord. We will have that in the link if you guys just feel free to message us, and we'd be more than happy to invite you to it.
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you guys. If any of you guys have the games that we like to play, feel free to join us. We'd love to have you on board. Anyways, we just love having a community that we're able to build around this, and we love to, hear your beautiful voices and love to hear from you.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. From all of us at the Bonus Level Podcast, thanks for completing level 4, and we'll see you next week, right?
Yep.
For level 5.
Later, taters.
And this one will be a fern.
You're ridiculous. Okay, see you guys.
Have a good night, guys. 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 Good night, guys.